Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to June. We won't see the Patriots on the field until July for minicamp, so we're going to have a lot of rumors to talk about. And this rumor right here is something I'm actually kind of excited about. Welcome to Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Brett Alper, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about the Patriots could potentially steal Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, from Washington. I think it could be a real possibility. But before we get into anything, Game 3 of the NBA Finals is tonight. And I know most of the people on this channel are not Thunder fans or Pacers fans. And me personally, I don't care about the NBA Finals. These two teams are meaningless. It does not matter. I want to see the Patriots on the football field. So if you feel the same way and you do not care about the NBA Finals one singular bit, go ahead and hit that thumbs up icon. It's free, it's easy, and it helps the show. Let me know if you don't care. Okay, let's get into it. So Ian Rappaport, couple days, which we kind of noticed that Terry McLaurin probably wasn't going to show up to mandatory OTAs or minicamp. Rappaport said this: he's seeking a new deal and just not showing up. So all those rumors started to surface. Could they trade him? Is he going to be paid? Well, Christopher Knox of Sports Illustrated, a Bleacher Report, said this about a potential trade to the Patriots. McLaurin showed last season that he can be a tremendous asset for a young, developing quarterback. He didn't have the best statistical season of his career. I'll make note he had 1,000 yards, so let's calm down there a little bit. When paired with Jaden Daniels, but the two were an incredibly efficient duo. McLaurin provided a quarterback rating of 133. Perfect QB rating is 158.3 when targeted. McLaurin would certainly represent one heck of a target for Drake May, who was largely missing some weapons last season. They're still a bit dicey in that regard heading into 2025, but swinging a trade for McLaurin would quickly solve that. Me personally, I'm a huge fan of Terry McLaurin. I've had him on my fantasy team for the past couple years, and he's just one of those guys that's been under the radar because he plays in Washington. He's gone through a ton of quarterbacks since coming into the league in 2019, but he always seems to put up the numbers. It doesn't matter. I can't even remember who was on the team. I just remember Taylor Heineke was the quarterback of the Washington Commanders back in 2020, and Terry McLaurin still shined. Like, it does not matter who the QB is, and he can go up there, even at 6 foot, 210 pounds. He's a deep threat target. He can go up there and moss any person on the field. I don't care who it is. He always impresses, and everybody just goes under the radar because he's on Washington. But now with a good quarterback like Jaden Daniels, he's really starting to shine. Look at this. His last 4 seasons, 1,000 yards in every single year. And Christopher Knox wants to say, oh, he had not the statistically best season. 13 touchdowns and 1,100 yards. What do you mean? Like, this guy is going off. And I think he's one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL. And if you put him on the Patriots, deep threat automatic. I know that Stefon Diggs is there, and you have Kyle Williams in the slot. But I looked up also a statistic of his PFF grade when throws of 20-plus yards. And that means when you're throwing a deep ball, this is his PFF grade, 99.9. I don't think you can get better than that. 2023, 96.8. 2022, 99.1. 2021, 96.9. This is one of the best deep threats in the NFL, and nobody talks about it. So imagine if you put him on the Patriots. Drake May's cannon of an arm, throwing it deep. Yeah, I could see a lot of spectacular catches and a lot of highlight plays with Terry McLaurin on the field. So would you guys trade for Terry McLaurin? We'll get into a trade in a second. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Would you guys trade for him? Let me know down in the comments section. Drake May needs a deep threat. I have Stefon Diggs' stats right in front of me of just deep throws, and I'll read you guys off. For 20-plus yard throws. I know he didn't play a lot of the seasons last year, or a lot of the games last year, but only 4 catches of 20-plus yards. He did have a PFF grade of 20-plus yards at 95.9, so still somewhat of a deep target. But if you look at this depth chart, you only have Stefon Diggs, you have Demario Douglas, and Kyle Williams, and then you have Matt Collins as your kind of deep threat guy. you kind of need another guy there. And you could be saying, but Brett, they have Stefon Diggs. They got their number one wide receiver. Well, I have something coming up that will tell you guys exactly that doesn't mean anything. The Patriots are still kind of searching for a wide receiver. And we'll get in that in just a second. But it is the week of sales on Fanatics. And you can get your Drake May jersey today on sale, 20% off, $103.99 if you go to chatsports.com/May jersey. Use that website. Click that in the comments and description of today's video. I don't like typing things out, but I made it easy for you. And I found this deal. If you don't have your Drake May jersey yet, which I already got mine, so I think you guys should get yours today. I get every single Patriots quarterback. I still have a Mac Jones jersey that'll sit in my closet for the rest of time. But get yours today, chatsports.com/May jersey. Okay. So this is why the Patriots are still going to be looking for another wide receiver. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler went on NFL Live a couple days ago and talked about Rashod Bateman. Well, why would we talk about Rashod Bateman? Well, before he got his contract extension, the Patriots tried to trade for Rashod Bateman, and they ultimately later failed. Now, before the trade happened, well, after the trade happened, or didn't happen, I should say, he signed a 3-year contract extension for $36.75 million with $20 million guaranteed. And the Patriots, I can guarantee you they were willing to do that. I can guarantee that they were willing to pay because guess what? Another report came out the other day that they offered Chris Godwin $30 million. They're still in a market for a wide receiver. And Jeremy Fowler later went on to say this about possibly trading. They said Bateman went out in the open market and talked to teams, and I was told that there were several involved or had interest. They talked about the Cowboys, but the big one was the New England Patriots. And he saw that he had the market, and the Ravens saw that and said, okay, we'll trade you instead. Well, we'll pay you, we won't trade you instead. And I will say this, because that they're trying to trade for Rashod Bateman, or they tried to trade for him, and you heard that they offered Chris Godwin that much money. I know that was during free agency, but still, if you're trying to trade for another wide receiver when we already have Stefon Diggs on the roster, you drafted Kyle Williams, it means that they're still in a market for another guy. They're still looking for someone to pair up on the other side of Stefon Diggs. They're still looking for another guy for Drake May. They're looking for that deep threat because I know they like Mac Hollins. I know he doesn't wear shoes anywhere he goes. A little bit weird, but still a solid target. You still need that top guy, and let's be honest, Scary Terry is that top guy. So don't rule out a Scary Terry trade, or don't rule out any type of trade for a wide receiver, or just rule out the Patriots looking for another weapon. And people want to talk about, oh, well, he needs to get a lot more money. He's on a contract year, so he's going to get paid. Well, guess what? What did the team in Cincinnati do a couple months ago that, well, let's be honest, everybody's making fun of because that's why Trey Hendrickson is holding out. That's why their first-round draft pick is holding out. The Bengals gave all their money to their top 2 receivers. They paid Jamar Chase and they paid T. Higgins. So you can pay 2 top guys that are definitely number 1 guys on other teams. Let's say T. Higgins left Cincinnati. We wanted him to be a Patriot, to be our number 1 guy. Well, they paid him so much money. So it's a possibility. It is 100% a possibility that the Patriots could go out and pay Stefon Diggs and also get a guy like Terry McLaurin, trade for him, and then sign him to a long-term deal. So Bleacher Report came up with this trade idea, and I kind of laughed at it because there's no way in hell that the Commanders would accept this trade. You give him a second-round pick and Austin Hooper. I guess Bleacher Report is just kind of thinking, well, if he doesn't sign with us long-term, we got to get something out of him. So, second-round pick and Austin Hooper. I'm willing to get rid of Austin Hooper. You have Hunter Henry, which has been a minicamp star for Drake May. He's loving him, throwing him the ball every single time. And then you have Jaheim Bell and C.J. Dupree also on your bench. What'd you guys make this trade? I'm making it in a heartbeat. You can live without a second-round pick. Type T for trade or type P for pass down in the comments section below. I'm accepting that right away. I'm not even questioning it. I would expect for a guy like Terry McLaurin, yeah, he's getting up there in age, but he's still a top wide receiver in this league. You saw the stats, 1,000 yards in the last 4 seasons. That's what the Patriots need. You haven't had a 1,000-yard receiver since 2019. So this would be automatically an upgrade. This would be an upgrade every step of the way. But you got to sign him long term, though. And what would that look like? Well, I went searching around, just trying to find what his contract projection would be. I found a 3 years, $93 million contract. So do the math. That's about $31.3 million, around, $31 million a year. I don't do math. That's why I talk about the Patriots for a living. That's exactly why. And the Patriots, we talked about the cap space so much all the damn time. Most in the NFL, they have money to spend. And if you want to spend it on a wide receiver, because I think offense is important, you already upgraded that defense, get Drake May all the weapons that you could possibly be so you can compete in that tough AFC. Well, not tough AFC East. You just got to compete with the Bills. So please, I would sign him in an absolute heartbeat. Let me know what you guys would do. But overall, I doubt this happens. Terry McLaurin is way too good of a wide receiver for the Commanders to let go. You also need to have Jaden Daniels to have a top target, because he's a young and growing quarterback. He's in the same draft class as Drake May. He has his top target. You're not going to get rid of a guy just because you don't pay him. You're going to pay him. They're going to pay him. And it's a pipe dream, but if it's a possibility and the Patriots call him up and say, let's make a trade, please, please, please do it. Please. That's going to do it for today's episode of Patriots Today by Chat Sports. Make sure you hit that sub button, like the video, and also you want to talk about the Patriots, you want to talk about how much of an idiot I am for trying to trade for Terry McLaurin, because I don't think I'm that much of an idiot. Go hit me up on Twitter. Go hit me on Instagram at @TheRealAlper. And as always, let's go Pats.